2016 Toyota Prius. This is a Prius 4. Did not realize there were so many different Priuses until I went to try to look up a battery. And there is a difference in the batteries, at least between a 4 and a 5, and I think a C. So this one takes, unfortunately, I didn't think about doing a video until I'd already removed the battery, and they took it to get a new one and got a, traded in on Core. But what we found to put in it, and it's listed as it's listed as what fits, but it's not technically the exact fitment, and it's a H4 style battery. And so I'm guessing the exact fitment is probably something you can't get easily, but this thing needed a battery, and so we got what we could get, which was an H4, and it's supposed to fit it. Part number on this thing is, this is not their gold. They do not have a gold. It's a premium, but this is from O'Reilly's, but AutoZone part number is H4DL, I think, and then Advanced Auto is just an H4, and of course this is a 140 RPRM, and O'Reilly's is the only one that actually had this battery in stock. Like I said, this is Sunday. Toyota's not open, so got to get this car back on the road, and I did not think about videoing, so I'll try to show y'all how it comes out by putting it back in. So let's get started. Hopefully the light's not washing out too much, but so what you've got to get this thing out, like I said, unfortunately I didn't think about videoing this. I didn't even have my camera with me when I started with this, but now that we've got the replacement battery, I'll video going back together. So you've got you got a positive and negative. Of course, you push in on the side of this, and this will flip up, which will reveal a 12mm bolt. This is only the cables. Undid the cables from the clamps just because it made things a little bit easier to get this thing out of here. There's not much wiggle room in these cables, to try to get them up and get the cable or get the clamp off. So, 2 bolts, these come out, and it just makes this a lot easier. So you've got that, and you've got, so this is the positive terminal right here, 10mm bolt on the side of it. Loosen that off. Like I said, there was a 12mm nut right here that I took off that allowed me to get this cable out of the way and then pull the clamp or the battery terminal off. Now for the negative side, you've got a 12mm right here. I just pushed this to the side a little bit, and you could use a boxed-in wrench if you wanted to, or you could leave this all together. But I just did that. It looks like if you actually just push in right here, yeah, right there, and right there, this part of it will come off, which is what I should have done to begin with. There. So do that, and then you can separate that off to get this 12mm nut off, and then undo this 10mm right here. And then once you get that loose, you may have to get a little screwdriver, get in here, and just open it up a little bit, and then you can pry this off. So that's what I did. It seemed to make this job easier. You've got a 12mm down in here that holds this bracket on, just like this. And that's your battery hold down. So let's go back together with this, and you'll kind of see more of what I'm talking about. And you've got this battery little cover right here. And this is so much easier with these clamps or battery terminals out of the way, instead of trying to get this in and out, and fighting it. And this battery fits in here well. So before we do too much, we're going to go ahead and bolt the battery down, and I will get y'all, well, let's see, did it go like this? Or like that? It goes like that, I guess, yep. I'm just going to slip this down. No, had it backwards. It goes like that. doesn't it? No. It has to go like that. No. Well, or does it go like that? Aha! It goes like that. There we go. So, just like that. It goes down here. I'll show it to you once we get it in there. We'll start that. We'll go ahead and tighten this thing down. And we'll go ahead and slip that down. Yeah. It's locked in. Alright, so I always like to do the positive first, going in, taking out, undo the negative first. And the reason for that is you don't want to accidentally arc the negative terminal to ground. And so coming out, undo the negative, so that if you do bump up against something metal on here, there's no negative. And then going back, you put the positive first, so that there's no negative. So we're going to pull the little positive cap off here. Also leave these caps on until the battery is set in, so you don't accidentally bump them going in. And we've got these little washer things, corrosion preventative washers. So we'll put those on there. So put the positive on there. Alright, so we're going to pull this back, and we're going to slip this terminal down, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down before we even put the this part of it on here. So we'll take our 10mm, and I'm just holding this down just to give it a little, make sure it's seated all the way down. I'll tighten this up real quick. Alright, so tighten it up, don't strip it out or anything. Now we're ready to go ahead and set our positive terminal on. And that just sets down over there like that. And let's see if I can get the light a little better. Sorry, this is kind of like a spotlight, but it's really dark in here. And we'll start our 12mm. And we'll just run that down. So get a long extension on here, but it's fine. And once again, don't over tighten it. And now we're ready to do the negative terminal. We'll pop this cap off, put our washer on, and we're going to flip this terminal over and get that out of the way, and push down on this thing, kind of center it up, make sure it's in good shape, and take our 10, tighten this down. Alright, tight but not too tight. And now we're going to take our negative, come over here, and start our 12mm. And of course, we've got these two little tabs like I showed you, and they push on just like that. And then we will snap this down, and that is it. It is back in, and I don't know why these were off, but they were already off. We'll put those back though. But so coming off, like I showed you, if it were me, I would undo the 12mm on both of them, just to make this job easier and not have to deal with these short cables. And you know, the cables are very stiff, so even after you pull this off, it's going to be hard to get this big contraption cable assembly, terminal assembly, out of the way so you can get the battery in and out. So I would undo that 12 millimeter, loosen off on this 10 millimeter. If you need to, you can use a small flat blade screwdriver to open the clamp up a little bit after you loosen it off. Like I said, do the negative first when you're taking it out. Then these little tabs here, you're going to push those up just a little bit and then pull this assembly off, undo that 12 millimeter, and you can set this over to the side. And then positive, push in on the little sides right here, flip this up. You can undo your 10 millimeter, you can undo your 12, and you can take this out of the way. And then I'll show you over here, that bolt right down in there, that's the only bolt to hold the battery down. So undo that bolt, take that little metal bracket out, and you're good to go. So not too bad of a job. Like I said, it's very dark in here, so keeping the light on. So not too bad. And like I said, this is a group size H4, whatever, you know, battery place you want to get it at, but H4, like I said, I mentioned the part numbers in the beginning, and keeps you from having to go to the Toyota for one. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.